We're taught from a young age that lying is bad. End of story. No exceptions. Tell the truth, no matter what. And yet somehow, there's one very specific type of lie that gets a free pass. A lie that doesn't cause outrage, doesn't ruin friendships, and doesn't even come with guilt. It somehow feels polite, considerate even. It's the kind of lie people accept with a nod instead of an argument. It even has a nice, friendly name, like it's trying not to scare anyone or get in trouble. I'm Professor Everything, and today we'll be answering the question, why is it called a white lie? Right here on Explaining Everything. The phrase white lie dates back to the 18th century, when the word white was commonly used to mean harmless, innocent, or morally clean. This wasn't about color in a literal sense. It was symbolic, like how people once talked about white magic as the safe, friendly kind that doesn't summon anything with too many teeth. So when people started calling certain lies white, they were labeling them as lies that didn't cause real damage. These were the lies meant to protect feelings, smooth social interactions, or prevent situations from getting unnecessarily dramatic. In other words, it was dishonesty with good intentions and decent manners. Language loves shortcuts. Instead of explaining the ethical reasoning behind a small lie every time, people just said, white lie, and everyone understood the assignment. The phrase became a convenient stamp of approval. Yes, it's technically a lie, but let's all agree not to make a big deal out of it. The brilliance of the phrase isn't just in what it describes, but in what it excuses. White has long been associated with purity, cleanliness, and innocence. Snow is white. Wedding dresses are white. Toothpaste commercials are aggressively white. So attaching that color to a lie immediately lowers your internal moral defenses. Say, I lied, and it sounds like you've committed a crime. Say, I told a white lie, and it sounds like you filled out the wrong form by accident. The word white acts like emotional insulation, softening the impact of the word lie before it can trigger guilt or judgment. It's essentially rebranding. The act stays the same, but the label changes how we feel about it. The phrase allows us to believe we're being considerate rather than deceptive, even though we're still bending the truth. It's less about honesty and more about comfort. White lies didn't survive this long because people love lying. They survive because social life is fragile. Humans are emotional, sensitive, and often wildly unprepared for blunt honesty. If everyone said exactly what they thought at all times, conversations would turn into verbal demolition sites. White lies function as social glue. They help conversations move forward without friction and prevent small moments from becoming unnecessarily painful. The phrase gives society a shared understanding that some truths don't need to be delivered with full force every single time. It also helps people protect their self-image. Nobody wants to think of themselves as dishonest. Calling something a white lie reframes the act as considerate rather than selfish. The phrase lets people acknowledge they weren't fully truthful while still feeling like a decent human being. One of the most interesting things about the term white lie is that it limits how seriously the lie is taken after the fact. Once something is labeled a white lie, it's automatically treated as small, temporary, and forgettable. It's not meant to spiral into consequences or require a dramatic apology tour. The phrase works like a conversational fire extinguisher. It stops people from digging deeper. If you admit to a lie, the next question is usually, why? But if you say it was a white lie, the explanation is already baked in. The motive is assumed to be harmless, so the conversation moves on. This is why the phrase is so effective. It doesn't just describe the lie, it manages the fallout. It reassures everyone involved that nothing serious is hiding underneath. Whether that's always true is debatable, but linguistically, the job gets done. So why is it called a white lie? Because humans needed a way to soften dishonesty without denying it entirely. The word white gives the lie a clean reputation, lowers the emotional stakes, and signals that the goal wasn't harm, but harmony. At its core, a white lie is still a lie. It still twists the truth. But the name exists because total honesty, delivered without care, can sometimes do more damage than silence. The phrase doesn't erase the dishonesty. It packages it in politeness and hopes everyone agrees to let it slide. And if you think about it, calling something a white lie is really just a polite way of saying, I didn't tell the truth, but please don't make this awkward, which ironically might be the most honest part of the lie. If you enjoyed this video, or if you are now feeling guilty for a lie you told years ago, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other binge-able channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.